Today, I'm going to break down the difference between decentralized finance and traditional finance. Now, the terms DeFi and decentralized finance are typically used hand in hand, and they mean the same thing. As we can see, DE for decentralized and the FI stands for finance, and together you get decentralized finance. DeFi is just a short way of saying that complex phrase. Now, we have seen finance in the past, but we haven't seen it paired with this decentralized part. Instead, we've seen it paired with, of course, the traditional finance. This term, traditional finance, in fact, didn't even become sort of a phrase or a thing until DeFi came along, because simply at the time, all there was traditional finance. So there was no reason to refer to it, as like a certain term, because there was no reason to. It was simply just referred to as the financial system because that's all there was. Now, though, in today's day and age, we ultimately have two financial systems that are competing against each other. It wasn't until DeFi came along that people really started to realize how flawed the original traditional financial system was. With that being said, let's dive in and discover the differences between these two financial systems. So for traditional finance, the ones who control it are basically the centralized financial institutions, or the banks. They're the ones that control everything and provide the financial services. On the other hand, for decentralized finance, nobody really is in control because it's all run on the blockchain independently. The power is basically split up among the people. There's no central authority that decides what you can or cannot do with your funds. In traditional finance, again, your funds are going to be held by the service provider, like the bank, on your behalf. On the other hand, for decentralized finance, it's held on the blockchain by users and their wallets. As for how funds are processed in TradFi, it's done by intermediaries or other people processing your transactions between party A and party B, whereas for DeFi, it's done via smart contracts. And TradFi, these intermediaries that are processing your transactions could be service providers or clearinghouses, and they're the ones that are going to decide how long it is before you receive your funds and if they even want to process and approve your transaction in the first place. Whereas in DeFi, it's all done on the blockchain, so it's typically instant. Once party A sends funds to party B, they don't need to wait for any service providers or clearinghouses or any sort of intermediaries to approve or process their transactions. It just goes directly from party A to party B. There is basically no wait time. This is one of the many reasons why a lot of people are starting to find DeFi very attractive. There's no risk involved for like losing your funds, whereas if a bank collapsed, the people in charge of traditional finance are the big institutions. They're the ones who make the rules and say what you can and cannot do. Whereas in decentralized finance, what you can and cannot do is determined by the people holding that certain asset. These people typically will get voting rights to determine what happens in the future of the asset. In traditional finance, the big institutions keep all transactions private, whereas in decentralized finance, all the transactions of a certain asset are public on the blockchain. Anyone can go and see who sent who what money if they know a certain wallet address. If you want to know more about DeFi and why it's going to be the future of financial systems, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe with notifications on.